welcome to Business Growth School for Service Providers podcast. I'm your host Ali Salman, and this podcast is brought to you by Rapid Boost Marketing, online marketing for service providers. Are you a dentist, realtor, lawyer, accountant? Do you provide services locally? Then this podcast is for you. Here we share strategies, tricks, and techniques on how to generate more leads and sales using online marketing. Join us every day for 5 minutes and take away strategies which you can apply in your business. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 95 of Business Growth School for Service Providers. I'm your host Ali Salman, and today we are talking about build trust online. But if you want to access previous episodes, go to rapidboostmarketing.com/grow. Now, why building trust online is so important? Because building trust online is directly related to the revenue. The more trusted you are, the more revenue you're going to make, the more sales you will make. Because if people trust you as a local service provider, if you're a realtor, accountant, lawyer, end of the day, right, if the trust level is high, the revenue is high, you're going to deal with more customers, you're going to do more business end of the day. But how can you do that, right? And in this day and age, when you know that anyone hears about you, what do? They Google you, they go to Facebook, they go on your website, they check you out on YouTube, they check you out on Twitter, Instagram. They're trying to learn more about you, right? So how in this day and age of digital media, you as a local service provider make sure that you have a really good trusted brand online? Rather, when people search or look for you, a triple B comes up with 5 complaints, or Google reviews come up with 2 stars, that doesn't really help your business, right? So what is the 2-step formula? So step 1 is basically outside assets. Very, very important. This is the pre-purchase. They haven't even been on your website yet, but they've came across your brand on Google reviews, Yelp, Facebook. Then there are industry-based companies RateMD for healthcare providers, dentists, and doctors. There's Dealer Rater. Dealer Rater is basically for dealerships out there, and there's a lot of industry specific websites out there. But end of the day, right, you know what, here's an example, right? As a local investor, you are looking for a property management company. All these companies come up, right? Now, an average transaction for a property management company for a whole year, it can vary anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500, right? Now imagine that a lifetime customer value of that customer can be upwards of $10,000, $10,000 if that property management company manages that customer for 5 years. Now, the potential the customer goes through that list, right? Picks up a company based on the reviews and stars, and basically ends up calling or getting in touch with that company. Now, imagine that potentially customer is a $10,000 customer, and how much impact the reviews made on that transaction, on that deal. So your trust is directly related to your revenue. So make sure on Google reviews, on Yelp, on Facebook, and all your industry-based organizations, right, your reviews are in perfect shape. And you can use tools, right? That's the good thing. You don't need to do this manually. It's not that intensive process. There are tools Get 5 Stars, Rapid Reviews Generator, because it's very important. 72% people trust reviews as much as they trust your own friends and family. Guys, this is very, very important, right? Another interesting thing is unhappy customers tell 24 customers out there, potential people out there. Happy customers tell just 15 people out there. So you have to really, really focus on make sure that these outside assets, right, where people talk about your business, right, there's a positive atmosphere there, right? When people go on your Facebook page, when people go on your Yelp page, people go on your any of the industry specific pages, you should be really standing out with few reviews out there, right? Now, another thing is step 2. Now, step 2 is basically your own asset. What do I mean by that? Your own asset is your website. customers now, they bypass this process of finding you on Google, Bing, and Yelp. Now they're on your website, so you control that, few pages and how their experience is size. Now this is the 13-step process. If you implement, right, your trust and your conversion ratio will go up, because end of the day, if they trust you more, you're going to convert better, right? It's a simple numbers game, right? If you're converting at 3%, you start converting at 6%, that changes the numbers, right? Okay. So what is the number one thing? Number one thing is your about us page. Make sure you have a really, really good about us page, right? Because this is the second most visited page for a lot of service providers' website, and this is also the page which is also usually not paid attention to. People don't really have a lot of information there. You should use visual, you should have pictures, you should have a story behind your brand, company owners, maybe shareholder, not a shareholders, like a managing people out there. Because imagine, right, you're a paving company, you're a real estate company, you're a mortgage company, right? If people cannot see you, your face, right, okay, how can they trust you, right, for thousands of dollars of transaction, right? Especially for lawyers and anyone who's providing service, plumbers, like roofing guys, right? Very important. Media logos. Maybe you have been featured in the local newspaper. Maybe you have been featured in local chamber or publications and things like that. So use that, because that will help you increase the trust, right, your potential customers put on you. 3, client logos. You maybe have worked with big clients out there, right? I mean, our own example, you'll see we have worked with Coca-Cola, we work with Samsung, and this is something that we can brag about, right? So client logos are also another way that you can actually gain potential customers' trust, right? And this is another way of telling your customer that they are not the first one to do work with you, right? Your experience, you have worked with a lot of other people in the industry, right? Testimonials, again, very, very important, because testimonials, right, is a very major trust factor. Testimonials tell your customers stories, right, on the website. So make sure you have a testimonials in place. Number 5, case studies and white papers. See, case studies and white papers, right, should be presented in a way that you should be the go-to information provider in that industry. Let's say when it comes to engineering, you should have case studies. When it comes to structural steel, you should have case studies. If you are let's say a plastic surgeon, you should have case studies and white papers. End of the day, case studies and white papers are more in-depth, right, information which your customers would love to consume before they make that decision, that buying decision, right? Another thing is visuals and pictures. Visuals, pictures, videos do much more, get much more engagement than your blog content, than just the words out there. So make sure that you use visuals. What does it mean? Visuals, pictures, and videos. Number 7, guarantee seals. There's a lot of ideas around guarantee seals. You'll see some examples on the screen which you guys can use to increase that trust of the customer, right? Another thing is number 8 is secure checkout. What do I mean by that? HTTPS is very, very important. Make sure you have that installed on your website too. Number 9, numbers. How you can use numbers, right, to tell the story better, to help gain more customers' trust. This is an example of how the one company is doing that, right? So numbers is an amazing way to basically earn more people's trust, right? Social share. Social share is another thing that it's the way of showing that if this many customers have shared it, it ought to be something good, right? So it's basically the thinking of idea that if someone has already read it and they've already shared it, I should read it too, because it might be really worth it. Number 11, lost aversion. This is really, really good. Box uses it. We use it personally really, really well. It's basically if other people are doing it, why you are not doing it, right? So you are missing out, you're losing out, right? Which I would say. Number 12 is your social media pages. This is your human-to-human connection. When people find you, they go and check you out on different channels, right? Besides your reviews and everything, you need to be active there. You should be updated. You're a business, right? If someone goes and checks you out on Twitter and you don't even exist, right, that doesn't really leave a good a trusting factor there, right? So make sure your presence on social media is solid and is consistent. You're consistently present for your customers, for your existing customers, and for your potential customers. Number 13, there are some tools out there which you can use to help build more trust, right? Things like, FOMO, it's a really good tool. Proof, it's also a really good tool, right? Which you can use to build more trust. It can really help you with your conversion ratio, right? And also there's a tool called Outreach, right? So these are 3-4 tools out there which you can also use. There are WordPress plugins I've also mentioned, right? They're all in there. Also, I've also mentioned the tools which can help you get Google, Yelp, Facebook reviews really fast. So go and take advantage of these tools and resources, because I think, and it's proven out there, right? Like we have seen with our customers too, that directly your trust index is related with your revenue, right? The more you're trusted, the more your revenue will be. So go and capitalize on it, because you know what? If you're not, you're missing this huge opportunity out there for you and for your business. Because guess what? I mean, if you're not doing it, like that property management company example, someone else will scoop that, right? So take advantage of that, take some action, right? And put that processes and systems in place in your business, which can help you earn more trust, right? Locally in your market or nationally, whatever geographical area you're serving, you should be the trusted brand, in that given area. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to listen to previous episodes, go to rapidboostmarketing.com/grow. Again, I'll repeat that, rapidboostmarketing.com/grow. I'll catch you tomorrow bright and early with another business growth lesson. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.